Net worth is a term that gets tossed around often, especially as regards to rich and famous people. What is Beyonce's net worth? How about Jeff Bezos? I admit I often go down the rabbit hole of net worth research and find myself spending hours being mesmerized by how wealthy some people are. But do we really understand what net worth actually is? Do we know how to calculate it? And more importantly, what is the number that we want to have? Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, where we learn to grow our wealth slow and steady. In this video, we're going to deep dive into net worth, the ultimate measure of someone's wealth. We'll learn to calculate our personal net worth, how we measure up against our peers, and more importantly, how we can increase this number. All right, let's start out with a simple question. What is net worth? Simply, it's a bird's eye view of our entire financial picture. However, don't confuse net worth with income. Income is not net worth, and it is not a true reflection of someone's wealth. From the time that we're old enough to understand money, society conditions us to confuse income with wealth. We believe that doctors, CEOs, and movie actors are rich because they earn high income. Just ask my son, who keeps telling me about how much Cristiano Ronaldo makes, the world's best soccer player, according to my 80-year-old. Just the other day, he was telling me that Cristiano Ronaldo made $32 million last year. Being a personal finance YouTuber, I can't help myself but ask him, how much of that did he actually keep, and what is his net worth? I know he's only 80 years old, but I can't help it. We judge the economic success of our friends, relatives, and colleagues at work by how much money they earn. 6- and 7-figure salaries are regarded as status symbol of wealth. Although there is a relationship between income and wealth, they are very separate and distinct economic measures. Income is how much money you earn in a given time period. If you earn $1 million in a year and spend it all, you add nothing to your wealth. You're just living lavishly. Those who focus only on income as a measure of economic success are ignoring the most important measuring stick of financial independence. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And net worth reflects that amount. All right, with that said, how do we actually calculate net worth, this true measure of wealth? Essentially, net worth is calculated by the total dollar amount of our assets that we own minus the total dollar amount of our liabilities, most often our debt. Let's go through this step by step. Step 1, let's calculate the dollar value of all of our assets. Go through everything that we own and make a list of all of them plus its estimated dollar value. Most common items include the following: cash and checking and savings account, our home and any other real estate holdings, any stocks, bonds, mutual funds, index funds, certificate of deposits, government securities or other investments, pension or retirement plans, cars, boats, motorcycles or other vehicles, personal items such as clothing, jewelry, home furnishing, and appliances, collectibles such as art and antiques, our business if we own one, and lastly, anything else of value that we own. Once we have calculated the dollar value of all of our assets, let's add them all up. This essentially represents our assets, the dollar value of everything that we own. Step 2, let's do the same exercise, but with everything that we owe, our liabilities. The most common items include the following: the mortgage on our house or any other real estate holdings, credit card debt, car loans, personal loans, student loans, home equity loans, and any other debt. Once we have calculated the dollar value of our liabilities, let's add them all up. This essentially is our liabilities, everything that we have to pay back to someone. Now to step 3, this is the easy part. Subtract what you owe from what you own. The final number that you get is your net worth. For example, let's say that we added up everything within our asset category, our checking accounts, our 401k, our home, and we get a number of $500,000. And when we add up everything within our liability category, our student loan, our home mortgage, car loan, we get a number of $300,000. Then when we subtract the liabilities of $300,000 from our asset of $500,000, we get $200,000. Our net worth is $200,000. When we first do this, it could be a bit tedious to capture all this data. But if we want to truly see our measure of wealth, it's important we capture as much information as possible. If you like to do this online, some great tools that I like to use are Personal Capital and Mint. You'll need to link your financial accounts to these platforms, but once linked, your net worth will get updated in real time as your debt amount declines and your investment value goes up. I initially calculated my net worth in an Excel sheet so I could understand all the variables, but now I use Personal Capital to see my progress. The automation that it provides is great, and if you don't mind linking all your accounts, the service is also free. Alright, now that you have your number, you might be thinking, is this good or bad? Am I doing better or worse than my peers? And if you happen to have a negative number, no worries. We all start somewhere. My wife and I were actually over $100,000 in the negative when we started our financial journey over 10 years ago. For our comparison data, we're going to use the data from the Federal Reserve Board. The Federal Reserve Board issues a survey of consumer finances every 3 years to share information about family income, net worth, and more. According to the most recent report released in September 2020 with data collected in 2019, the overall mean of an average net worth of US households is $750,000. But the mean is probably not the best gauge to compare ourselves, given very affluent households drives the average up. I mean, who would consider it fair to have to compare ourselves to Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk? A better comparison is to look at the median or the midpoint value. It's a more accurate representation of the everyday person. The overall median net worth of the US household is $122,000. And the net worth total vary by education, age, income, and other factors. We'll focus on the median and the average net worth figures for different age groups. For the age group less than 35 years old, the median net worth is approximately $14,000. For the age group between 35 and 44, the median net worth is approximately $91,000. For the age group between 45 and 54, the median net worth is approximately $170,000. For the age group between 55 and 64, the median net worth is approximately $212,000. For the age group between 65 and 74, the median net worth is approximately $266,000. And the age group greater than 75, the median net worth is approximately $255,000. So how do we compare? Are we ahead or below the median? If you're below the median, don't get discouraged. Building our wealth is not a race. The only competition is to ourselves. Are we doing better today than yesterday? And are we doing better tomorrow than today? But this data gives us a good metric to gain some valuable perspective from. So once you have your net worth number and see where you stand, the next question you might want to ask is, how do we increase it? There are a lot of different ways to do this, but let's talk about a few most popular methods. The first and the most direct way to increase our net worth is to pay down outstanding debt. It's hard to control how our investment will do, but when we pay down debt, it has an immediate effect of boosting our net worth. So if you have outstanding debt like credit card debt, student loans, or car loans, choose a debt payoff strategy and start knocking them down. Create a plan for shedding this unburdensome liability. If you'd like to learn more about some effective debt paydown strategies, check out my video here where I go over 2 very effective methods, the debt snowball and the debt avalanche methods. The second method to growing your net worth is to grow your money by investing in appreciating assets. Of all the things that you can do to grow your net worth, this is the most important action step of them all. To grow your net worth in the long run, investing in appreciating assets is really the most effective method. So what are some good appreciating assets you should have your money in? If you watch any of my other videos, you know I love index funds. And if you're invested in them already, you're already ahead of the game. VTSAX, my favorite total stock market index fund from Vanguard, is a great appreciating asset. If you have been investing in them, continue. If you haven't, consider it a major part of your portfolio. You can check out my video here on VTSAX if you learn to learn more. When you own stocks, you essentially own part of businesses. In the case of VTSAX, close to 4,000 publicly traded companies in the United States. These businesses have assets and create products for its customers. And these companies will ensure that their assets and their products rise in value over time as it provides value to its customers. Another good appreciating asset is real estate. If they're financed with good fixed mortgage, the appreciation of the home will add to increasing your net worth over time. Though there are a lot of factors that go into home price like location and type of property, property value in general tend to stay in a steady upward curve in the long run. Of course, you want to consider many factors before purchasing, like how your local real estate market is doing and your personal financial situation, but it is definitely a great area to consider. The third method to growing your net worth is to be just patient. If you're focused on paying down debt and invest in appreciating assets, your net worth will increase eventually. It will not happen overnight, and you may not see significant progress for even decades. But with time, your net worth will increase. And this is primarily due to the power of compounding. Compounding from the continual rate of return you're getting from investing in the market. We often underestimate the power of compounding because it's hard to wrap our head around it. There's a game that I like to play. Let's say that I come to you and offer you 2 options. Option 1, I give you $1 million right now in cold hard cash. Option 2, I give you a penny, but this isn't just an ordinary penny, but a magic penny. And this magic penny will double every day for the next 30 days. Now, what option would you take? At a first glance, it's an easy choice. Like most people, take the $1 million. It's a lot of money and definitely feels a lot more than the penny, even if it doubles every day for the next 30 days. But what if I was to tell you that you'll be making a serious mistake if you pick the $1 million payout? And the primary reason is because of the power of compounding. Can you guess what that penny will be in 30 days? It will be $5 million. The compounding effect is initially very small. You barely hit a $100 range halfway through the month. But in the final 7 days, you go from around $80,000 to $5 million. It's really hard to wrap our head around this type of math, but it's right there in front of us. 8 to 10% return on the stock market may not seem like much, but when compounding is at work, our money will double essentially every 7 to 9 years. If we don't get distracted by the quick get-rich schemes and the need for speed, compounding will eventually grow our net worth to far more than we could ever imagine. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to learn more about investing in index funds, check out my video here on how to build your own 3-fund portfolio. Until next time, all the best.